Hello and welcome to episode 118 of the Spare Change Challenge. And we're just getting started a little late, actually a lot late today. The air conditioning guy just left and we are going to have a cold upstairs tonight finally, rather than sweating all night, which I certainly don't mind. I grew up in Florida. Okay, but for everybody else in the house, it's pretty miserable, I think. So I did tweak my sound settings I do apologize for the last video or two where my sound was cutting in and out sometimes, so please let me know if that is an issue in this episode, and I'll try again. So you guys remember I had the new version of OBS, and it was having some lagging issues where it was cutting out. So we switched back to OBS Classic, and I guess it's just going to be a learning curve on getting it back to the correct settings. I literally just started playing. Nothing really has happened yet. I got check raised on a c-bet, and I've defended queen jack suited. Flopped overs and a backdoor flush draw, but he just like overpots the flop, and there's not much I can do. It wasn't like I had two overs and gut shot and all that stuff. That was against this player here, so we'll watch him being maybe an aggro type player. We would have played against the $50 player, but we're not going to play against this guy. And the fact that there's a lot of people trying to sit right now is a good sign. It means the games are probably okay right now. Good chance of it anyway. We shall see. Although we're not having any luck yet getting that fourth table. Like an enigma lately, we can't get that fourth table up. This is a good sign. Getting a family pot. Yeah, I would prefer to have the club, king of clubs or jack of clubs here. Obviously the jack of clubs would be impossible. It's kind of a weird spot. I mean, even though we've got this many players, it's still not really that likely somebody had flopped a flush. I think we'll check decide here. Well, we could very well just check put it in. That's a pretty terrible turn card. It looks like people were just giving up here. Can we even call this? I mean, we're getting 7-1. I guess we kind of getting 7-1 we have to call because we got the right price. Even though we have dirty outs somewhat, I think we still have to call. I mean, yeah. Were it not a club, we probably could continue here, but I think we'll just fold. Yeah, so he turned. See, I'd be curious to see what this player has. I'm going to check. So obviously if I c-bet that flop, I probably take it down a lot of the time. Not necessarily, because this player might have called with just a 5. The other player had an ace as well. So they hit the 2-case aces. And this player had a small flush, like a middle flush, 9-high flush. And somehow decided to call a raise on the river with just a trips, which he's never good there. Right, so it's all right. Wow. The fourth table eludes us. Well, we'll just wait. If this is family, I might consider a call here on the turn on the flop. We have backdoor flush draw and 4, but as is, we'll just fold with just a 4. This guy's pretty passive. That's why I actually like a call with a really good price. Because I just think there's a premium on like hitting a 4 on the turn or running out club. This guy min raises and we get a poster that calls. We have 2 fish. Potentially, this could be a table with 5 fish on it. I think we have to play this hand with the 2 fish in the blinds. This guy's 3-bet 40% so far. That's now 3 out of 6 hands. Is that a strong enough read for me just to put it in here? I think so. I think I have to shove the ace-8 suited. A worst case scenario, we have, what, 33% equity? I just think he's... Wow, okay. Well, that makes our decision a little easier. I'm curious to see if this guy... Yeah, he's light. Okay, so unfortunately this guy either had a good read on this guy or he actually had the hand there. So What I think that means is we can't open a hand like 10-8 suited. We're going to have to definitely only open hands that we can get it in versus this light 3-better. Because this definitely looks like could be a potentially maniac 3-better. So we'll have to adjust. And I mean, that's a really profitable spot if we could just pick up like ace high, king queen, something like that. Yeah, ace king's definitely good enough. We would normally limp this, but since this guy's so aggressive on 3-betting, we're gonna open this. Open it and just hope he 3-bets. Unfortunately, it does not. We're gonna check and give him some rope. He's definitely looks like an aggressive player. We're just gonna check shove, and hopefully he just has like a 10 and calls it off, or an ace. Yeah, normally I wouldn't check shove in this spot, but I think it's good against this player because I just think he's gonna be one of those light stack off guys. I just kind of have that feeling. I don't want to check call and then like a jack peel and either ruin his what he feels about his 10 or his 9s or 8s or whatever it was he could have. Obviously, I think he's 3-betting those hands, so we can discount those. But I think there's enough gut shots and draws that he might just be willing to call it off there. Usually players that'll 3-bet that wide are also willing to get it in wide versus short stack. So, but I think against that player there's really no bad line. I think leading out is fine on the flop. Although I think my hand might be slightly too strong to do that against that player. And also from the positional standpoint, he may just be a light 3-better like in steal situations, so maybe I would have been better off limping there. And maybe he puts it in light on pre-flop. I mean, the theoretical maximizing play there, who knows, right? Who really knows? This is a really passive table. I'm probably going to see like a 5-way pot. I think I would rather shove here and get like ace 5 to call me rather than lead and get a 6-way pot. Or open and get a 6-way pot. I mean, alternatively, I could bet like $6 here. I'm never limping here though, not with this dynamic. When I think I know I can get called really, really light after shoving here. You'll be amazed at the hands that'll call me. Is this the guy that's light 3-betting? I don't think this hand's quite good enough. Close. King 10? I think this is like the borderline hand, honestly. What does he need to be 3-betting here for me to get it in with his hand? I would say something like 30%. I think with King 10 suited, maybe 22%. I think it might be like slightly minus EV to open that hand there and get 3-bet. It's a little rough. He may be playing more honest since he got cold 3-bet or cold 4-bet that one time. I don't know. There's plenty of hands that'll continue here that we beat. Hopefully we get raised by like 7s here. That'd be pretty sweet. Bet fold. Bet fold this turn. And this table does not look that great. Nowhere near as good. I wish we could like take like 2 fish off of each of these tables and put it on all of my tables. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna try for another game here. I mean, we'll get back on this table if we can't get another game. Yeah, I mean, whatever. This hand just isn't good enough to continue here. I would be maybe calling some hands with potential, but assuming that it's going to be near a family pot, you know, I think it'd be okay. But, whatever. Table's also not good, but I just don't think there's options right now, so I'm going to have to pretty much just... Maybe this table's good and this table's good, and we'll just play it by ear. Oh, I forgot to update my graph on my overlay. I apologize for that. I've been busy lately, so I'll try to remember to do that right after this stream. This Mr. Aggro. Oh. I mean, he's kind of backed off here lately, but I still think in a situation like this, he will be 3-betting light. So I'm going to go ahead and raise, get it in with the ace-5 offsuit here. I just have a feeling it's been a while. He's going to be light 3-betting light here again. Yeah, okay, no 3-bet. A little surprising. We have the ace of hearts and backdoors here and over cards, so we're definitely c-betting this board. It's like going to be a family pot a lot here. Do we barrel? I think we can. Oh, I want to bet a little bigger than that. I don't want to induce a raise. It's a little bit polarizing of a river bet, but I think I have to bluff. I'd have to try and get him off a 10. I think he will fold a 10 often enough to make this profitable, and he'll also have a hand like, he might fold a hand like Jack 9 or Queen Jack that he was calling with. I certainly can't just check it down with ace high because he could just have like pocket sixes there. The way we played that hand, it's very possible because I bet small on the turn. I don't think we have enough showdown value just to check there, and that's a spot I had been checking back a lot last month, and I just think it's better to bet there. Much better to bet. This table, once again, does not look great, so we're going to try and find a better table. Oh, hey, Max Stacks. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'm streaming a little bit late, as you see today. Because, as we talked about yesterday, if the sound was working when I talked about it, my AC was out upstairs, so we had to call the AC guy, and he just left. Got here late. Which is fine. I know those guys are busy this time of year. With it heating up. Oh, balderdash. We're just not having any luck getting other tables. So we get a little flip action here. And he rivers us. Wow. More of this stuff. You may guys remember last month that was like every time that I would flop my pair, they would hit their set on the river turn. And every time that I had an under pair, they would just hit there, and I would never hit a set. And like kind of a continuation of that, but that's okay. We just don't want it to become a habit again, right? So we have we actually have a gut shot here. I actually like to lead in this spot. I think it could just take it down right now a lot. This guy kind of has a random hand. So we're basically just playing against this guy who's just going to have like king, queen a lot here and just fold. Or ace 10 or something like that. Or pocket deuces, he'll fold. I like that play. Yeah, we're just going to fold. It's kind of a weird raise on his part. I mean, kind of a really weird raise. Is he really just going to raise an ace right on the flop? Unfortunately, I mean, if he just has a 10 here, we have a lot of outs, but it's just a very weird spot for him to actually have an ace. I mean, why would he play so fast on this board? Make much sense. I mean, it's the first. I just don't know. It's a really weird play on his part if he has an ace. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at people playing it fast on this site just because you do tend to get paid off. We're just going for some value here. Hopefully he had like king jack and he floated here. Or has like ace deuce. Wow. Do we just call here? I think we just call and check raise the river. Because if he does have a hand like king X, we want to give him a chance to bet again. We don't want to blow him off of that hand. If he has pocket fours or like king deuce or queen deuce, it's going to be a big cooler anyway. So, but we're definitely getting it in here. I think it's more likely he has like a bluff or like ace deuce or something like that. It's fine. He might be on tilt, so we're gonna limp here and hopefully he shoves. That's a good result. I'm pretty sure he's got like junk here and he's just mad. Oh, okay. And we get to free roll this. No spade. We'll certainly keep playing against this player. Last time he raised and we shoved, so he might be aware of that. But I mean, I wouldn't put it past him just to raise again. We probably have the best hand right now. He has a random, well, not necessarily. I mean, it's not a raised pot. But I think we can profitably just check this down. Oh, wow. Wow, it's a little unlucky. I mean, I almost open shove there on pre-flop, and I think he would have called with that. But I was giving him a chance to be aggro again. It probably was not the best play psychologically because I had just tried that play on him before. Yeah, so, whatever. Live and learn. Flop a 5. He's been shown to be aggressive. So do we just check this back and let him bluff, or do we bet get it in? I mean, it's kind of awkward because if I raise, it's kind of tough. He's probably not going to fold a hand like a 7. But I think it's better to call here and just maybe pick up more equity and to kind of see what develops on the turn. I think on some turns, like a 7 turn, I could just call him down at that point. He could definitely have like hand like 6-8. He's only got about a little more than a pot size bet left. I'm just going to shove here and hopefully he has a king or a 7 and just calls. Okay. So we know he donk bets with nothing. So that's a good read to have. This is tempting. Oh, I raised. I'm such an idiot. I thought this was like I was in a big blind. I'm not playing 1-2. I guess we have to call now, right? Gonna give him this one. Like he's a little mad, so just a little mad. This board connects with way too many hands. I think I just have to. This hand doesn't flop very well, but I have to play some kind of hand, right? I have to open a pretty wide range against this player. Has he folded to a steal yet? He's 0 for 1. I think we just have to c-bet the ace-high board. He were less likely to get played back on that type of dry board. I feel pretty comfortable c-betting that one. Unfortunately, we're just getting a lot of low hands in the big blind. He's opening like every hand, so it wouldn't take much for me to shove. I mean, I'm going to be shoving a super wide range here, so. This is certainly just an open shovable spot. I think I'll do that here. He's only got 11.5 big blinds. I'm just going to play might fold. I mean, I could probably just play a push fold against him. And frustrate him further and kind of build my wild image. This looks like a trap, so I'm definitely not going to fall for that. Just going to check back and just, if I don't connect, just let him have it. This is very trappy play when this guy's opening like every button. I mean, he definitely could have a hand like 4-5 suited or something. But it always is a little fishy when a guy's like opening nearly every hand. I'm gonna open shove this one as well, just because I just did it last time and now I have like the nuts. and I expect to get called very light this time. He hasn't been 3-betting yet, so this guy 3-bets 2 out of 9. I just don't think that's a strong enough read at this point when a guy is 20-20. So I'm going to fold. That's not our buddy from earlier, right? Pretty sure. I'm going to limp just... I've limp shoved one time, so maybe I'll be able to get away with a hand like this. I'm pretty sure he's going to donk bet a lot into this flop, though. Okay, well, he didn't. Certainly going to bet. It looks like he's kind of nut camping with a short stack here. He's trying to just pick a good spot to get all his money in. That's pretty much what I'm guessing here is what he's doing. I keep getting these hands that I can't 3-bet shove. But that's fine. I mean, yeah, I'm just going to do this. We have another short stack sitting down. That's pretty awesome. And plays itself. Guy's stolen 2 out of 2. Let's see if he wants to steal 3 out of 3 and ISO me. Another low hand. Just give me like ace-3 suited or something. Guy 3-bets pretty wide. Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter that he 3-bets. It does matter that he 3-bets wide. That makes it more likely that he's doing this light. But I definitely wasn't lipping to fold, so I'm shoving this. Blind versus blind, I probably would have shoved that there. We get a 10s versus my ace-queen again. Can we get there this time? Yes, we do. So we're 1 for 2 against 10s. I mean, it's all good, right? It worked out. Okay, so we try and get a new game or that game, whichever, doesn't matter to me. This looks like it might be a good table. This guy's kind of short. Okay, we're gonna open this. Guys, let me know if my sound is good, please. I know I tend to mumble and get my microphone too far away from my mouth. That's kind of my problem too. But I did fix my noise gate, so you might hear some more background noise. But I think it's better to hear a little background noise than not be able to hear me sometimes, right? So starting this late, we're probably going to have to play a short session. I'm going to end at... probably need to by like 6:45. Well, we might be able to get an hour in. We'll see. This guy's going to be putting it in really wide on this board. I expect him to donk bet here a lot with only $8. We'll bet half his stack and see if he wants to put the rest in. There is a ton of hands that he'll flat with. It'll just put it in here, so... he's definitely not folding now, so we're just going to put the rest in. Hopefully he doesn't have a 3. That would be really gross, but it's okay. We'll just bet the rest now. He'll call me with an 8, a 9, Jack 10, any of those hands, so... Okay. Or Jack high and be drawing dead. Drawing dead is pretty awesome. We break this guy. Alright, so he's not reloading yet, so we're going to try and find a full table. We're not going to pussyfoot around here. Oh, just clicked the wrong button. Oh, okay. This may be not such a good table. Let me check another one real quick. And then we'll settle in on that one if we have to. That doesn't look any freaking better, does it? Let's take a look at that other one again. I think we'll take the empty seat table. There's a 3-way going on. Maybe that's a good sign. I'll open this. Guy hasn't played a hand yet. Guy's 3-bet 100%, but that's only over like 3 hands. Only one opportunity, so we're not really going to worry about that. Might be getting right off of this table. I'm not liking the way this is shaping up. Maybe I wish we could get off of this one as well. Maybe we'll try. I think a random table's better than either of these tables, so. Okay, we'll play one revolution. Why not? And maybe we'll find a spot here eventually to get the money in. Oh, there we go. Ask and you shall receive, right? See if we can replace this table up here. I think we're short enough that I think the optimal play here is just to shove. 15 big blinds, we might just make it like $5 and go with any flop, but I think with this stack size, we'll just shove. I think any ace might call us here. That's any ace for sure. Deuce, please. Deuce, please. God. I know I like the 9, right? It takes away his 10 and his aces now, but that's not usually how they get us, right? It's always the gut shot. The gutter ball. Welcome to those just joining the stream. Oh, hey, player bot, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. It's a check fold spot here. No reads, we'll just have to probably give up the ace-9 suited here, even though it's pretty, ain't it? This guy loose enough? Probably not. Try and find another table here. I appreciate the feedback on the sound. Player bot. It seems like every comment in that last video was something to do with my sound sucking. I wish I had known during the stream that it was shitty, so I wouldn't record such a bad video. A couple options here on this board. We think he's more likely to raise a hand like 6-8, we would want to check back here. If we think he's less likely and more passive and check call with that type of hand, we want to bet. I'm going to go with the bet here, even though he does have a 2.7 aggression factor. I just think there's enough hands that'll call that aren't going to raise. There's more hands that's going to just call, and less worry about getting bluffed off our hand. This is the type of board I like to check back on, and then raise turns, just to simplify things. We're going to bet fairly big on this turn. I think this is a board that people would love to, well, not love to, but will bluff at frequently. And we certainly almost have the nuts in this spot. Especially when he checks the turn, you know, it definitely is the nuts at that point. But there's plenty of hands that'll continue. Ace highs, king highs, whatever. And this looks like a pretty crap table we landed on here. Let's try again. We're going to keep trying. We're going to table select our asses off this month. Even though it's going to be difficult to do so. I think that's a way to get an edge, is if we're doing a lot more work on that. I think a lot of regs might just resign themselves to just playing in bad games. And that can lead to, I think I've talked about this can lead to a significant edge for us. Readless and the cutoff, I think we just fold here. I think he would need to be opening something like, I'm getting kind of rusty with my math on these things. I mean, I think he needs to be opening like 40 to 44%, 42%, something like that for me to shove here. And I just think a vacuum cutoff range is usually not that wide. We will, however, defend the big blind here with the king nine. We'll raise this flop because we have overs and a backdoor flush draw, and a board that doesn't necessarily connect well with an opening range there. Certainly bet this when he checks. The board is much better for our range when we defend, so I think it's a mandatory bet in that spot. We have a pair, so I think we have to bet here to protect, and I think he's gonna bet any. Okay, so the ace comes. I think we'd be expected to barrel this a lot, so I think we might get some light floats. This looks like he might be a reggy type player, so I like betting the ace. I think against like a fish, we would not want to bet the ace. I think it's going to look like we're giving up, so maybe we can get some bluffs, and we could also mitigate the times that he has like a 9-10 here. But he could certainly bet a worse hand. I could certainly go for a shove there, but I don't think we're likely to get looked up on an ace X turn and river. I think I would prefer him to value bet like a worse ace. Maybe hits a queen and value bets that sometimes. Maybe he has some kind of busted something. It's certainly possible. He ended up having an 8, which I'm pretty confident he probably folds. Maybe calls a small bet, I don't know. We're certainly betting the king-queen board. We could certainly have the best hand here. It's kind of difficult, but we certainly can't just check back and then just let him take the pot, right? This table looks like it's breaking, so, well, it's broke, pretty much. We're tired of getting pwned by yours truly. Right. Yeah, people usually have an innate fear of short stacks, right? Oh, okay, Max, so you're trying out that, I unclicked this. Why am I posting in the big blind here? I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. So how's that going? And you say run bad. That means you're getting it in good, obviously, a lot, and just running bad sometimes, which is poker, right? But it seems to be pretty plus EV, lucrative, or whatever you want to say. I definitely want to try that, man. I want to do and I actually want to vlog it. I want to take like, I don't know, handful of buy-ins and just go to the casino one day. Buy in for the minimum and just track it maybe over a weekend and just play, maybe play 30 so hours live and record some of the hands discreetly and yeah. I think it would be a fun exercise. I think I could learn a lot. I think I might be able to write, I don't know if that's been explored yet. I mean, I haven't ever seen anything on like a short stacking live strategy out there. Maybe I could write a short book on it or guide or something. I think it would certainly be fun and entertaining, even if I don't get something like that out of it. But I think buying in for the minimum, then just playing, let's see here. So vacuum play. Hijack open. I think hijack open I can call. I wouldn't call it under the gun open. I think there's enough king X, queen X, hijack hands in a vacuum range that I can call here. That board's pretty good for my range and not that great for his hijack range. So I think I have to, this is like a mandatory float here. Backwards float, reverse float. I think he's just going to check back a lot of turns. Ace is pretty bad because there's a lot of aces in his range. So I think if he checks this back, he's just going to call every single river bed with a good part of his range. So I think this is like, I would much prefer to see like an 8 turn, 10 turn, something like that if I'm going to continue. I just think when he barrels there, a lot of his range is just caught up. So pretty crappy. But I think it's a profitable float at the same time. Honestly. And I know you're not supposed to really float that much out of position, but I think on that board, for one thing, I have 2 overs, right? Like 13% of the time, I'm just going to make my hand on the turn. Or improve in some way. The ace was definitely not the card I was looking for. I wonder if this is like a plus EVC bet. I think queen 6-6 or queen 6 deuces or queen 8 deuces. I'd much rather have like a board like that. I think we could check this and just profitably just check back here. We can improve in some way on the turn as well. I think against two of these type of players, we're going to have such a low c-bet success there, and it's not like we're going to peel an ace and then just get all the money in, right? So, and a jack isn't an overcard, so I think that's one of those limited times that we just have to do that. I think it's just, honestly, the best default play in a three-way pot, especially versus two fish, is value bet thinly, but at the same time, give up with air a lot. I would certainly be betting a board like King, Jack, X, right? Or if I had the Ace of Clubs, I would be betting. So I think I could just shove turns a lot there when I make the nut flush draw on the turn. So there's a good amount of the deck that I can improve on and just commit. And get them off better hands. Or have them call with worse hands. I mean, shit happens, right? We have just Jack 7 again, this time suited. Of course, we were in the blinds last time, so. This guy hasn't 3-bet much. This is only his second and 21 possibilities, so we just have to give him respect. It would have been a pretty sweet flop, though. Boom, boom. Obviously, this player is the best hand now. Maybe not. Not necessarily. I mean, he could have 10x, right? Or queen jack or something like that. Yeah. It would be a terrible bluff here. I would never ever bluff this spot. Wow. Good thing we weren't in that pot. I think he needs to be opening like close to 40% here. Okay, I'm just gonna fold. I don't think it's a flat. I don't think. I mean, actually, you know what? That might be a good spot to that. I need to start mixing against some small 3-bets. After 2 sessions, you're down 10 overall. Well, okay. I mean, that's 2 sessions, right? And you can't glean anything from that. Up 400, though. Oh, I see. So you were up 400 and then got coolered. Okay. Well, that sucks. I would definitely not try to never get in $400 to full buy-ins without close to the nuts. Oh, so you made your king high flush. Yeah, I mean, I think even in that spot, I'd be like very wary of just trying to just get it in. I probably just want to get in about no more than $200 in that spot. Really. It's just so easy. I mean, that's one of those, it's actually a good, I mean, it's like a PLO spot almost in live poker. It's just so easy to be, for somebody to have the nut flush, because people just love to play the suited ace, right? I would not want to just pile in 2 full buy-ins, 200 big blinds with nothing but a second nut flush. I know that people can stick it in with worse there, I know. It's certainly not minus EV for you to do that. But I think if you weigh all options, probably just trying to mitigate, checking back some, check call type spot. People, I mean, it just depends on the player you're up against too. You might just go for a check call against like a passive nitty looking player and maybe just like against a maniac get it in, and like there's not that many of those guys, right? 3-1. Out of position, I think we'll fold this. Was this a limped pot? I think it was. Okay, I'm not gonna play heads up versus this guy. 20 big blinds, I can shove this and just get off the table. Okay, well, we get a flip out of it. That's really weird that he just happened to have 4s there, right? But I'll take it. We won a couple flips this session. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty sick that he had a pair there. Is that a call on his part? We can explore that here. Because my optimal shoving range would be something like any pair. Any ace X. Like all suited actually all broadways, maybe even down to X9. And some suited connectors I could shove. So I guess 4s isn't horrible there. If you weigh that range. We could take a range like that. See how 4s do. Let's give him 4s. And take our range as something like any Broadway, any pair, maybe down to 8-7 suited, maybe all the ace suited aces, maybe something like up to ace-5. I'm sure he's probably doing pretty well. Yeah, he should be calling there. Maybe fold 2s, maybe 3s are the borderline hand, so I can't blame him for calling there, certainly. I mean, not that he's going to necessarily know my optimal range there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know, it's good to think about theoretical situations, though. Like, if he's theoretically making a mistake, he's making a mistake, and it's good for us. Yeah, so getting back to the live thing, I do have a casino 100 and some odd 30 miles or something. What is it, Harrah's Cherokee in near Asheville? And I think a lot of games run there. I'm definitely seeing maybe a weekend in my future where I go over there and vlog it. Maybe after I hit the 10K mark, we'll do that for fun. I'll just take like $1,000 over there, right? I don't want to lose more than 10% of my bankroll. Plan for the minimum. I mean, first I'll just form some kind of basic strategy going in, and then just basically feel out how the games play, and then maybe take a break, go back to my room, run some numbers, and Krev. I'll probably have a pretty good feel for that stack size, though. I mean, I've played all different stack sizes. I used to be a 50 big blind player at one time, back in the day. I've played 100 big. I've played every stack size, right? But I think just seeing the overall nature of how the games run, I mean, it might take some adjustment. Like I need to form like a limping range, like an ISOing range, an open shoving range. Not open shoving, but I think I already got that part down when my stack gets low. But something like a thirding range, a 3-bet range. Is there any value? Nah. Way too likely we're beat here. 4-way. I think it's just going to check down and we're good, or somebody's going to bet and we're not good. Pretty easy peasy, right? Anybody really going to bluff at this? I think not. Especially with a hand like deuces. It'd be funny if somebody has a 7 here. Well, it won't be funny because I want to win the pot, but... we're certainly shoving 21 big blinds here. This could be close. If it was this player opening the cutoff, I would be shoving here, I think. I don't know. Yeah, we're just going to get away from this. The borderline open here. I'm just going to fold this time. Maybe open Jack 10 suited. So we get hero called here by the ace 9. I guess maybe he thinks he's trapping. I don't know. Shit. Alright. I guess it's better than him spiking a 9, right? At least we had to keep half the pot. But I'm kind of getting greedy. I just want to win everything. Kind of want to run like I did in week 2, 3 of last month, where we just kind of ran like God. Thank God we ran that good because of how bad we ran. It's like week 1 we ran like God, like the worst we've ever run, right? Except luckily it was 100 and now we're only down like 700. Week 2, we played a very limited volume because of the computer virus I contracted, and I had like 3 days of no computer. But I still ran really good. Almost probably offset my entire first week. Week 3, just amazingly good again. I think I was probably up 900 over like 3 sessions really quickly. And then week 4, or starting at the end of week 3 maybe, right back to the old. So week 1 and 4 were basically the worst ever, and week 2 and 3 were like some of the best run good ever. But you know, at least it wasn't 4 weeks of the worst. Because if you think about it, if we didn't run that great in that second and third week, we could have easily like been at 1500 at the end of the month. Very, very, very easily. This is not good, looking like a good table. A good situation down here. Now it's an even better situation. Wow, this is like the dream spot that you want to encounter. So many hands will continue here. It doesn't really matter what I bet. I can shove any turn. 7 would be awesome because Jack 9 gets there. So really, we're not worried about a 7. The only thing we really don't want to see on the turn is a Jack or a 9. Okay, so now we have a pot size and we just shove and hope he has a 10. And not a better 8. That'd be pretty sick. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I would expect him just to call with a 10 there. So he probably had a hand like Queen, Jack, or I don't know, overs or pocket deuces or some kind of weird gut shot. Maybe 6-5 or whatever. Backdoor something. Some kind of something, something. Some he wasn't willing to even think about 2 streets. I could have bet $1 there and it looks like it was folding, so whatever. Yeah, I hear that, man. Maxstack says, I think, 1 second. Says, I think it's pretty good because so many people limp when you're jamming. Yeah, jamming over limpers has got to be the nuts in live play for sure, especially with like less than 50 big blinds. I remember a live hand I played about 4 or 5 years ago. I think he's going to check back a 4, so I don't think we're getting called by worse here. Yeah. I don't think he's going to call with a 4 there. Where I had lost a couple pots, and I think I was down about 50 big blinds. And the guy limps in the hijack, and I was in the cutoff, and I had queens. Actually, he had something like king 6 suited or something. And I thirded it. I bet like a third of my stack, whatever that was. I don't know how many big blinds. It was something like between 40 and 60. And the flop is something like 10 high, 3 spades. He checks, I shove, obviously. And yeah, needless to say, you know he flopped the flush. So that might have been the last live hand I played. Been a while. Yeah. I don't think I can bet fold here. This guy's kind of fishy. I think I have to shove this with only 15 big blinds. I think I have just enough fold equity, and even if I get called, I like have a really good hand here, so I have the right price for this. And I have a pretty tight image too. I wish he didn't have diamonds. That kind of sucks, but we'll take it. That was definitely a minus EV call on his part, I think. Especially with the read that he would have had on us if he had any hands on us, which he certainly does. Assuming that he is using tracking software. And I imagine anybody that has these stats probably has tracking software. Try for another table here. That was not bad. I don't mind getting back on that one. That's why I went ahead and clicked off. But I certainly want to always try for better. This guy's opening stealing. He's stealing 40% over. I don't know if we got the same table or not. Something tells me we did. 25 hands. So this is 3 of 6. So this is 50% steal. So I would imagine he's stealing like 50, 60% here and like 30% here. So do we have the right hand for 30%? I don't remember. I think so. 30%. Wow, actually, maybe not. Certainly can call though. Um, this is a vacuum fold, I think. Yeah. We're way ahead, kind of way behind here. God, another ace turn. That's pretty sick. It's like the only card we don't want to see in the deck, right? The ace. He's pretty passive too. I think we'll just give him this one. That sucks, man, because we can just pretty much commit on anything but an ace turn. Like, anything. And that's the second time that's happened to us, so. But whatever, I mean, not a big deal. It happens. I mean, we're not making our living off of these type of players anyway. But I think flatting there is still going to be plus EV. I think shoving is borderline. And actually, now that I think about it, 20 big blinds probably is a shove there. I'm thinking we only need like, he could be like 28%, 26%. And we can do it with 20 big blinds. I think this is a good spot to do a small 3-bet. We haven't been doing much of this. I think this is the right kind of hand to make this play. It's gonna look really strong from me. Usually when a short stack does this, he just has the nuts. I don't have enough of a read. I certainly can call here, but I'm not calling to try and make a set here. I'm gonna protect my hand. It's a good spot for him to check raise. That's a really good turn. I think he's going to have some high spades here, and he's going to have maybe a 4x that'll fold, or 5s now. I think we certainly have to bet twice. I think he could have some ace-x hands as well. That's a really bad river card. Oh! I mean, we're now chopping with 5s through 8s. Does he fold jack 9, I guess? I think he doesn't. He certainly is not going to not bet jack 9, though. He's never folding ace high now. King high. Whatever, dude. Yeah, he's never folding that. That's kind of gross. I mean, he played his hand fine. I would have played it the same way. He just got the luck of the run, and I think overall, because I'm in position, I'm gonna be winning that spot. Because when he gets there, he's never getting any more money out of me. And when it runs out clean, I'm just gonna win the hand. Like if he improves, he's not getting any money out of me. But when I like spike a deuce or whatever, so that's a losing spot for him. Not that ace king isn't a profitable open for him, but on that particular. With me having a pair in position, I think I have the upper hand there. My overall calling range is going to show a profit against his overall raising range there, probably. He just had the top of his range there, if that makes sense. So that's why you got to flat pretty wide there in that spot. It behooves you to do that. Yeah, that's fine. Who keeps texting me? Actually, I don't know if that's a text or what. It's asking for my freaking password. This is our is this Mr. Ace 9 up here? It's a different table, isn't it? This might be the same table. He called us with Ace 9 last time. If this is the same guy. I think it might very well be. This is sometimes a trap or a pair, but I think with 15 big blinds, 16 big blinds, we just have to put it in. Whatever. Let the chips fall where they may. Alternatively, I could bet like a third of my stack there. But I'd rather him call me with king, queen pre-flop rather than see a flop and fold. We're overall crushing his range anyway. Even with traps included. Another text. Go away, people. I mean, this guy's just usually got a queen when he does this. Usually, or a trap, I mean, like aces or kings or something. It's a really dry board. I mean, I think sometimes Queen X will just check call, but, you know, against short stacks, he may just be playing it fast. It's a really profitable c-bet spot regardless. Not really worried about that. Guy's been pretty aggressive. It says infinite aggression. Well, I don't know what that means. That means there's not enough sample, or doesn't go too in depth on aggression factor with this software. Yeah, I don't have a good enough hand. I would be calling fairly wide here. On this board with 2 overs and got shot, I just have to commit. Maximize my fold equity here. I don't mind getting it in. I mean, it's the right price. See, we have like a ton of equity here. Wow, wow, we get there and then lose? Huh. That sucks. So we're like, we have a lot of equity there. Enough that we can just put it in there. And he doesn't have to have top pairs, right? He's going to just be folding a lot there on that flop. Open this. I'm guessing I had like 40% equity there. Just guessing. I really don't know for sure. Oh, what happened here? So we're just putting a generic Jack 8 offsuit versus a Queen 9 offsuit. And I know it's against range versus range. It's not really doing a range comparison. I'm just showing the exact price I had here. What was it? 865? Is that right? 865. I can certainly c-bet this flop, but I think it's certainly okay against potential passive players to check it down. I forget the exact board up here. It's 875, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we had 36% equity, which is more than enough. More than enough. It's like having a flush draw basically and getting it in, right? So, this guy's been pretty passive. He's still 2 out of 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and. Actually, I think a smaller 3-bet is good here, like a committing 3-bet, with this exact hand and a squeeze. I think he calls with like ace 10, but he might fold to this size bet with ace 10. This looks really strong when I do this. A lot stronger than shoving, which when I have king high, I just want folds. I don't really want called. I think I'm less likely to call by 8. So if this guy hero calls, it's going to be like ace 8 or something, and I'm losing to that, so. It's a good profitable spot here because this guy's never folding his hijack range to a short stack. Well, I say never. I mean, there are some hands potentially, but a good majority of it's going to call. Well, a lot of it. Let's put it that way. I could run those numbers, but I think he calls with like Jack 10 here a lot, you know. There's 7s he's certainly going to call. High card! Alright, that's a high card, but not high enough. That's okay. Can't win them all. We can try, but can't win them all. Get a love it or hate it type of flop here, and apparently he loves it, and he's a fish, so we're just going to give it to him. We lose a couple all-ins flips basically here, but we did it when we only had like $16 on the table, so it's all good. This is definitely a shove here. I'm guessing this guy has like a 30% range, and I think ace jack is definitely above the threshold of a shove here with 28 big blinds. I think ace 10 suited would be a shove here. Yeah, especially if we're getting called by a hand as weak as ace 9. Did he just chop with? That is annoying. Wow. It's so hard for him to chop. Guy's opening pretty wide. I'm not convinced he's opening that wide early position, but I think we can still flat here. It's a rare flat in this spot, but this guy is 31-25. I think we dominate some of his open. I think he's going to have a lot of aces in his range. He'll have ace 3, ace 5, Ace 8 offsuit, Ace 10 offsuit, something like that. That makes me want to. I'm going to stay on this board. This guy's fishy. This guy's maybe fishy. We're going to check back with overs. Very, very hard to get to just take this pot on the flop on a 9-7 club. I think it's a pretty minus EV bet there in position. See guys do it all the time, but I think it's minus EV. I expect your bet to work there like 20%, 22% of the time or something like that. And that's definitely not good enough. So let's see how long we've been streaming an hour. I guess we'll go ahead and end it. It's almost 7. I have to put the kids to bed here shortly. So we'll play. What are we gonna do here? We just hit the big blind here, so maybe we'll let the big blind hit here and here, and we'll play these out. Fold that. I'm gonna lead any two against this player just because he might be a fit or fold, and I guess we kind of have to barrel now that we hit that card. Is there any chance he has a hand that we don't have outs against? Could he have like pocket 5s or 7? It's possible. But I think the majority of his hands are going to be like 7x, 6-8. Some air hands that are now just trying to steal it. Doesn't know what to do with the... Maybe if he's going to raise, he'd raise the flop with the jack. So an ace or a deuce is likely an out. It could also come like a 7 and we win. I think we just call here. He might give up on that card and we're just good here. And he has 6-9 or something. 6-8. I think we just have the right. I mean, that was like almost 7-1 on the turn there. So we're definitely not folding with a pair on the to a min raise on the turn. Because if he has 2 pair, I mean, we got like the right price for sure to draw. So I expect him to have like a 35-37% range here. I think an ace 9 suited is a shove. We have a backdoor flush draw now and a gut shot, so we're definitely open. I'm gonna lead this. Keep up the aggression. Okay, so we can definitely sit out next big blind here, 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 and here. This guy is not opening any hands. The only problem with that is we're definitely trying to make a hand here. If we knew there was fish in the blinds, we would call here. But we just don't have the right price. If I thought I could take it away from this player on the flop, but this player's range is so tight, I'm never ever gonna, he's never ever gonna like check fold, right? It'd be rare for him to do that. I think it's better just to give up there. Feels like it has aces, kings written all over it there, queens. And we're not deep enough to... we're going to open. Hopefully this guy thinks we're trying to attack this guy and he'll one of these guys will 3-bet me. It's a good spot to get 3-bet. Well, I think this is never a limp here in this dynamic. This guy's been pretty aggressive. I think we can check back and raise turns profitably here. Wow. Pots it, huh? I'm not convinced that he definitely has the best hand here. Could definitely have flush draws. We have likely have 6 outs anyway. I think he just might try and check a flush draw on the turn. He could certainly just be like have a queen here, right? I know he's 71-12, but he does have 6 aggression factor. I'm trying to think here. Such a small sample. It's just crazy for people to donk bet. But you know what? I see this type of play from like a 71-12 all the time. Is they'll just make top pair and just go with it. He certainly could just have a flush draw here, but I don't know. This type of player might be more of a check raisey type player when he has a flush draw and lead when he has like a queen. And I mean, it's good to have that read there. But I mean, what can we do, right? He's he's got passive stats except for the small sample aggression factor. You know, it's just crazy for him to do that on that board, especially after he gets called on the flop. It's like he would expect most of my range to be continuing on the turn. Of course, here I am putting myself in the shoes of a fish, and I may be just giving him way too much credit. I think a lot of those players just have the mentality, no matter what happens, I'm going to bluff this board. So he just pounds, right? He says, man, I just want to show a bluff, so I'm going to pound away. And that's more likely what happened. He's not thinking about board textures or any of that stuff, so I'm getting a bit carried away. But I think in that spot against this type of player, it's just, if I'm going to commit there, I think, well, I don't think a shove on the turn is necessarily terrible there. If I have this read on this player, which I didn't before that hand. So I'm not going to lose sleep over that, let's put it that way. Definitely not going to lose sleep over that one. I think he's already given us some money. I think we got it all in with his ace-9 versus this earlier. So we're fine just getting away from this session being done. What do you think? Up or down? I'm guessing down, right? We'd have to be down, right? No way we're up. No way in hell we're up. Yeah, so it looks like we're down a little bit, if it ever refreshes here. Yeah, I mean, we're down, what? I don't know. $25, less than a buy-in, and we had 2 hands we were all in where we got chops where we were winning, so that's $50 there. And we got hit 10 on the river on us. That's another $50, $60 there. So, I mean, whatever. I mean, who knows whether we were up in EV that session. We didn't particularly run that great situationally either. So, it's basically a break-even session. We'll take it. Not going to argue with a break-even session or slight loser. It's going to happen sometimes. So, okay. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully the sound was better today. Please let me know otherwise, but I think from the feedback I got during the session, it was much better. I'll try to get my graph updated today. Maybe I'll just go with the overall graph here on out and just roll with it. But yeah, everybody enjoy the rest of their day, and we'll see you tomorrow. I guess it's Fun Friday, Free Money Friday. So I'll definitely be looking to play a session tomorrow. If I do play tonight, which is likely, I will stream that as well. So if you guys want to hang tight and see me in, I guess maybe by 9 o'clock or something. I'll probably be streaming in like 2 hours. We'll see you then if that's the case. Everybody have fun. We'll talk to you later.